Everybody Wants Some is a comedy film directed by Richard Linklater. The film is about Jake, a college freshman and a pitcher who moves into a house with his fellow teammates. We then watch them enjoy their last weekend before classes start. Now, I know this movie came out in the States about a month ago, and if you live in Canada, please correct me, but from my understanding, it was not released here until last weekend. Now, I love Dazed and Confused, and I know it's one of those movies that once I see it a couple more times, it's easily going to become one of my favorites. And since this movie was billed as a spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused, I was very excited for it, and I really enjoyed this movie. It may not be as good as Dazed and Confused, but I had a lot of fun watching it. I thought Blake Jenner was great as the main character, playing basically the straight man in this group, and I found him very likable as this character. And I loved the whole team dynamic aspect that this movie had, and you really felt like they had been playing together for a long time, and that's because this cast had great chemistry together. And like Dazed and Confused, Linklater cast a bunch of unknowns in this movie, and they all did a fantastic job. And throughout the team, there were some great side characters. You had your pothead, your ultra jock, your ladies man, and while basically every member of the team kind of had a label, there was so much more to them, and they did feel like real people. And this movie has some great comedy in it. I definitely chuckled throughout this entire movie. And again, a big reason for that is because of the team, and their interactions with each other was just so entertaining to watch. And I love the entire look and feel of this movie. There's lots of colors to it, and because the movie takes place in 1980, I thought they did a great job at portraying both decades. And the soundtrack, if you have seen Dazed and Confused, you know a great soundtrack is mandatory for this movie, and does it ever have one. It has a great combination of classic rock and disco music, and I still have Good Times rolls stuck in my head. And the script for this movie is great because like Dazed and Confused, not a lot happens in this movie, and it's the characters and their dialogue that keeps you invested in this story. Probably my biggest negative for this movie is that there's little to no female presence in it. And while Dazed and Confused did focus more on the guys, it still had some strong female characters, and there were even full-on scenes with just women in it. This movie is very bro-ish, and the only reason why women are in this movie is for them to go after and have sex with. And as a woman, it made it difficult for me to relate to this movie at times. There was this one female character that Jenner is trying to pursue that I liked, but she didn't really come in until later in the movie, and she is only in scenes with Jenner. There was never a scene with just her or her and her friends. It also made the movie kind of repetitive because you're just watching these guys go out and try to pursue women. And had they had more strong female characters, it would have made for a more well-balanced film. Also, this movie is a little too long. Some of the scenes did drag, and it could have been tightened up better. Finally, there's this character, Jay, who plays another pitcher, and I found sometimes he'd go a little too far and was a little too over the top. And his introduction was great because it was subtle and very funny, and had they kept his character that way, it would have made him much more likable. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. It has a great Dazed and Confused vibe to it while still holding up well on its own. And if you and your friends are just looking for a fun night out at the movies, this is definitely the film for you. I'm gonna give Everybody Wants Some a B+. If you have seen the movie, let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, or you can just click right here to see more.